Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd, and yes, many of you guys know I love my Star Wars stuff, even though it's not my main collection. So I went and got this cool Han Solo. I had him on pre-order for a while at Big Bad Toy Store, and he finally came in from pre-order, and I'm like, yes, yes. Now the only one I have not got yet is the Ben Kenobi that I'm trying to get, but I have now Han. I have the Princess Leia. Wow, she's really short. Let me go and just back this up a little bit. Change my height a little bit on here, and there we go. And I got my Duke Snot Popper. And I have my Furry Beast, which is so funny. As a kid, I always thought that this particular Wookiee right here was actually supposed to be Han Solo's pet, not his best friend. And I don't know how I missed that. But now that I know Chewbacca is actually supposed to be his friend, not his pet Wookiee, which makes a huge difference. You know, it's kind of funny how they do that kind of stuff. Now, I have a bunch of other figures too, but these are all the ones from the New Hope that just came out recently. Like I said, I'm still looking for Ben Kenobi. That'd be cool to get too. But I got Han Solo. So let's go ahead without further ado and let's open up the Han himself. And let's check this out. So first of all, if you don't know my videos, if figures don't fall, then obviously there's something going wrong. Anyways, so these are the new collection, and they have really outdid themselves, these new Black Series ones. And they have released other ones too, but for some reason these ones are just made at such much higher quality than the ones in the past. And you can just really see it in Han Solo's face there. I've never bought a Han Solo with the Star Wars Black Series before. This haven't measured up to what I was looking for. But this one just looks amazing. Amazing! And the side of the box has Han Solo, and the back has a nice drawing of him as well. And let's see if it has the year on here. There it is, 2024. Even though I just got it this year as a pre-order, I bought it back in 2024. But this is new. So, there we go. There's a bunch of jargon on the bottom too. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and grab some scissors and open this new figure up. Now it's funny, as a kid, I used to love to collect Star Wars figures. And I didn't have a lot, but I had a lot for what I thought was a lot. And I had, of course, Yoda, which was one of the last figures I got. I had Han Solo, of course. I had Chewbacca. I had only one Princess Leia. And then I had the Luke Skywalker dressed like this, which is why this is the one that appeals to me, because this hits my spot of nostalgia. In fact, when I got this figure as a kid, it was on Easter, and I got him and C-3PO the same day, and it was so cool that my mom got them both for me in my Easter basket. I was so stoked. Thought it was so cool. And so that has kind of always been my go-to. Now later on, I did get an X-Wing Luke Skywalker, which is also a fun one too for me because of the nostalgia. Alright, let's go ahead and open him up. He comes with his blaster, his famous blaster. Not relying on hokey religions or ancient whatever he says in the movie. I'm sure you guys will quote me in the comments of what he actually said. You gotta have a good blaster by your side. And here is that blaster. And the scope is offset on purpose. Very cool. Very, very cool. And let's bust them out of here. There we go. Alright. So here is Han Solo. Let's go ahead and talk about articulation. So first off, we have foot articulation. We do have a boot cut. Wow, that's surprising. I was not expecting that. Single jointed knees, but very nice the way they made them. Very nice. And the hips move. It moves up back and forth too. We have a waist movement, which is nicely done too. And then we have a shoulder movement. An elbow, just single jointed. And then his hand just circles around. No up and down motion. Oh wait, nope, that's just a loose peg. And of course his head moves too. So there you go. There's all the articulation. And it looks like his gun goes in his holster, which is always a fun treat when things actually fit into pockets and holsters and everything else. I always think that's so much more fun to have that extra posability, or in some cases playability. This way it looks like he's sitting under the thing, unfastening his holster in order to shoot first. All right, there we go. Very cool. So let's take a look at his face sculpt and his face paint, and you can see right there that it is really well done. I'm so impressed. So for those that don't know what the difference is, let's go on a little tour going back to the past. Back to the past. So I have some Princess Leia's here. Some that I've pulled parts off and customized. And you can see the different faces throughout time. So here's two of them. I actually like this one a lot. This one, not so much. And these are supposed to both be the same figure. But then when this one came out, just look. I mean, that is a thing of beauty. That is well painted, well sculpted. And granted, I like this one. Don't get me wrong. I think it's really cool until you see this. And it's like, that is like movie accurate, amazing. Amazing. And that's why I decided to start collecting again the New Hope figures, because it's just like night and day. I mean, this one looks like a scary, something you would see in a scary movie almost. This one looks very cute. It's a nice little toy. But this one, it is a statue. Fantastic. Look, let me pull off her. I guess you can't pull it off without yanking her head off. I'm not going to yank her head off. And let's take a look at Duke Snot Popper too. So here's the new one. There he is, very Luke-like. And here is the one that I had previous to that. Look at the difference. Look at it! Look at it! It is just so crazy how much better the new ones are compared to the ones that were released not too long ago. Now his neck is a little bit on the long side. I'm not a huge fan of that. And I do like the cloth goods at times, but I'm glad they went with the sculpted, because the sculpted just looks so much better. It's just amazing. Instead of his hair being yellow, it actually is the right color too. That sandy blonde instead of that yellow. Anyway, so now I have Luke, I have Han Solo, I have Princess Leia. Stand. Oh, here's this weird too. Look at this. Her legs are white all the way up. Where this one, you can see how they just put the kind of the white underwear on her. But it's because the sides split open, so I suppose I have to do that. But all right. And then I have Chewbacca. And then I have C-3PO. Let me put these ones away. And I have a really old R2-D2 when the Black Series first came out. And this R2-D2, I mean, it's not like they're going to do much better on the sculpts, right? But here's what's funny. Is many of you guys know I love to mix my action figures with my He-Man and the Masters of the Universe figures. And so before we had the classics, we had the smaller version figures And so I had to try to find an R2-D2 that would fit, because this R2-D2 is just a little bit too small. So I have kept buying R2-D2s left and right to find one that would fit with my He-Man and the Masters of the Universe figures. This is the cool board that goes underneath here on this one in order to make it so it's powerized. And then I even bought this big giant one too that came with a Princess Leia doll similar to Barbie, but this was of course way too short for Barbie. And eventually I found this R2-D2 unit right here, which was just the right height. This was too big. This was too small, unfortunately, but it's made of metal and it's like really heavy. And it's also been weathered, which is cool in some ways, but in other ways is not. And this one just matches just nice. You just set his hand on there, just like you'd see in the movie when C-3PO would stick his hand on R2-D2. So this was the right one. So you're probably thinking, wait a minute. Obviously this guy's way too big to match with all these figures. So yes, you are right. I have had to customize special figures to match my He-Man, the Masters of the Universe figures, besides just R2-D2. So let's check this out. Here is my Darth Vader. So I had to make a special Darth Vader just for Masters of the Universe. So here is my Darth Vader. Many of you guys have seen him at the end of my videos, a little stop motion of him saying like and subscribe. There he is. There is the actual Darth Vader that I use. And you can see he's made with a He-Man body. So cool. And then I also made my own Princess Leia's. Now I know she's wearing the slave outfit, which we were, what? But in my stupid storyline that I'll put a link to in here, called The War of the Roses, you can see why she's wearing it. And then I also made this version here, which is kind of fun, where she has the buns on her hair, which I sculpted with epoxy mix and then painted it. So you can see it's actually the same head. It's just one has the buns that I made and one has just the little metal things on the side. So there you go. Those are my Princess Leia lookalikes. Now I know her eyes are the wrong color. I wasn't going to spend that long painting the color of the eyes brown, but it's just more of like an alternate universe Princess Leia. So here is my alternate C-3PO. Boop, 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 boop. And I know he looks a lot different than you'd expect C-3PO to look. But again, we're talking, it's in the He-Man world. So that's why he's so big and bulky and a force to be reckoned with. And of course I got my BB-88 as well. Boop. And he's also the metal droid. I think he came with that R2-D2. This one here that's also made of metal. So there you go. And one last thing before I jump back to Han Solo is I made these cool lightsabers. Now I thought it'd be cool that lightsabers have a blast effect in the middle. So instead of just being a straight line, it's like they're laser blasted out. And so I made them clear, and I made the bottom clear too, so I can take a laser and just hit it with a laser and lights it up any color I want. Now I have a red laser, I have a blue laser, and I have a green laser, which is kind of cool because then actually it's not blue, it's purple. So I got green, purple, and red. But it's kind of a cool idea that I came up with, so you can just literally put it in their hand and then take the laser pointer from behind and light them right up. Of course, my lasers, there we go. It looks better in the dark. But this one here, I made it red, not realizing that I could use a red laser later on. But it works good for posing and holding it in places when I don't have a red laser attached to the back. But it does look cool when I have a red laser on it. Let's try the green laser to see what happens. Yeah, it's not working for me right now. Okay, you guys get the idea though. There we go. All right, so now you guys know my whole crazy history of trying to mix He-Man and Star Wars together, because you just got to. I mean, when I was a kid, I had all my figures mixed together. It was so much fun. But let's take a look again at that Han Solo one last time. Look at them all together. It looks so cool. And of course I got Boba Fett. Bum, bum, bum. And you gotta have the old Boba, right? And I got the Mandalorian. And I got 1,000,000 roses for my video that I made. It's kind of funny. You can see she's got a little rose in her hand. Joop. Check that out. A miniature Rose Tico to match the Rose Tico. I know, it's kind of ridiculous. Anyway. If you watch... Oh, there goes Darth Vader. I can't believe that. I made this lightsaber years and years ago, and it just snapped. He fell on the floor. No! I was always afraid of it breaking because I know this kind of plastic breaks really easy. And look at that. It just snapped. Oh. No! Alright. Well, that will probably be my short that I'll use later on. I broke my lightsaber sword. Look at that. Dun dun dun. Oh well, I'll have to print another one. I keep telling my wife I got to get my 3D printer working with the red resin anyway, so that's a good excuse to get it working. Got to make a new lightsaber. And where was I at now? Oh, Han Solo. That's right. So let's check them out one last time before I end this video. I am so impressed with the way they made this. Look at that. Look at all the detailing on this figure. Nice shiny boots. He's got his belt here for his gun. He has his belt on his pants. He's got great articulation. The sleeves up just slightly, which drove me crazy in the movie, but I guess it makes sense for it to match. He's got his cool vest that looks like it's removable. It is removable. If you're careful, you could pull this vest off. That is so cool. We're taking your vest off, man. Okay, that's a cool feature. Good job, Hasbro. So you can have them vestless or vested. That's cool. Alright, let's put it back on. Now, I know a lot of figures nowadays come with multi-hands, so you can have different hands and stuff. And I know people really like that, being able to have hands that can, you know, be open or closed or fist or whatever. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm just glad he has a hand ready to shoot the trigger, and he's got another hand kind of pointing and can also hold stuff too. I don't like it when they make a fist hand because you can never hold stuff. So I think this is a pretty good mix to have. And you can just undo his little blaster just like in the movie New Hope, and then load it right up in there, and his trigger finger goes right to the trigger. It just fits perfectly. Look at that. Guido, you're going down. Alright. Yes. It would have been nice they would have gave us a little bit different joint here, so it actually rocks more. I can't tell if it rocks or not, or just if it's just loose. It's really hard to tell if it's a rocking joint or just a loose joint. Okay, I think that is the end of my video. So, like they say in the Star Wars universe... We'll have Luke say it. We'll have Leia say it. What the heck? Hoop. Of course, I don't have a girl's voice. If I said, may the force be with you, it's kind of weird. It's got to be Luke. Hoo! May the force be with you. Alright. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it.